Yay! Hello, everyone. Hello, Stacy.
Hello.
I'm so excited to chat with you this morning. I feel like it's been forever since I've seen you, since you disappeared to Florida.
I escaped.
Escaped. So welcome, everyone. Oh, and here's London to say hello.
London, good morning.
We're live on Facebook, London. So we're going to be talking.
I read a book once.
Yes, London wrote a book too. We'll do your interview another day, okay? So we're live this morning talking with best-selling author Stacy Raske. I worked with her a couple of years ago on her book, Be a Boss and Fire That Bitch, which is one of the most awesome titles ever. And we just have so much to talk about this morning. But I do want to remind everyone that if you get on and you're watching this, even if you're on the replay, you can ask questions. If you're watching us live, even better, because we can answer the questions live. And you get your name in the hat to win some fabulous prizes. And I do have something for everyone who actually gets on and asks questions and, interacts with us. So that'll be going on at the end of the month. But right now, let's talk with best-selling author Stacy Raske. And I'm going to let you introduce yourself because I know you have so many new things. I don't want to miss any of them when I list them all off. So go ahead.
Right. I know, it's like this crazy long list of like titles at this point. Yeah. It's so funny. Hello, everyone. It's so lovely to be here with you. I'm Stacy Raske, best-selling author, speaker, podcast host, Iraq War veteran, badass biker chick, international success and leadership mentor, authenticity alchemist, and intuitive business consultant.
That is quite a list.
Right. We've got like broker of badass, confidence curator. We got all kinds of fun ones coming up. Impact activator.
I saw your post yesterday where you were asking people like, what would you call me? And I love that because, as you said before, coach doesn't resonate with everyone. That doesn't always feel like it captures everything that we do. And I love that you're being flexible with your titles and you're going with, who you truly are, which you always have. So that's something
Thank you.
So fabulous about you. But I wanted to talk first about your book and your book journey. And something that I think you have done so well is using this book as part of your transformational process personally, not just helping other people, but, using that book to go, hey, I am a freaking badass and I need to, use this to leverage everything and get me to the next level. So yeah, can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, I would love to. Yeah, it is one of the most powerful personal transformation tools that you can utilize is putting your story out in print. I mean, that was like, I had no idea. And it's interesting because people who've been in my world for the last 2 years, because July 2019 is when it was officially launched. And people who've been in my world who have seen the absolute exponential catapult of me as a person, of my business, of my impact, everything over the last 2 years, people are like, it is amazing how you just basically exploded. Yeah. And I attribute so much of that to, the book writing process. So there's my book. I love it. Super cool. But it was being willing to sit in that space of taking these stories and not only feeling them and experiencing them as I put them into the book, but really turning them into these tools for translating these powerful life lessons. What I experienced. And I know not everyone who writes a book puts a ton of their personal story in there. However, that's what people want. That is what people want. And, you can put all the business lessons, all the life lessons, all the things in there that you want, but people want to get to know you as a person. So the more you're willing to be real, raw, vulnerable, authentic in your book, the better. And it is the most amazing business card I could ever have. And that's really what this book is. So going through that process, like to say, wow, I actually am releasing these stories so much that I'm like putting them in a book. It basically, it helped me own all of me. It was very transformational because I was willing to sit in all of the trauma, all of the junk, all the BS, and look at it in a really empowering way, because it was like, wow, I can look at all this stuff and look at how this has helped make me who I am today. And I'm so proud of how far I've come, who I am, and all these amazing lessons and how it's helping me help others. Like, to put it in the book in that way, really, it reignited my passion and inspired me to show up even bigger, because it's not about me. The book isn't about me. The stories are not about me. It's about helping other people. And it really catalyzed this connection between who I'm being, how I show up, and this legacy of impact that I'm creating in the world, because that is my purpose, to share these stories, to teach these lessons, to help other people show up and allow them to impact the world, like the beautiful ripple effect. So yeah, it was just ever since getting the book out. So, and sitting in the discomfort of it, because it's hard. It wasn't hard to write the book, especially hiring somebody like Corey, because it was made, that process was super easy. It was the sabotage and the emotions and all the stuff for a long time that I'd been avoiding to go really deep. And then there's something about putting it in print that I'm like, ooh, it got real. But what's interesting is once I put it in print, I let it go. It had no power over me anymore, and it allowed me to take my power back. So, it's good stuff.
So awesome. You gave us so many good nuggets there. One of the phrases I love that you said was legacy of impact. And I know that that's something that, you know, as you were working through the book, I remember it being a very emotional process, and you letting me in on all of that, because that's something that I didn't fully recognize as somebody who's like, yeah, this is my thing, I typically write. That was one of the first times that I got to walk through that process of the emotions with somebody working on their book. And it was, you know, I watched that shift from, hey, I want to write a book, to what we've been talking about as the bestseller mindset. And, you know, being able to release all those stories and use them to help other people. And I think that's so awesome. Can you talk a little bit about the bestseller mindset? Because that's something that we do in our program too. Stacy is my bestseller expert from my, now it's called the Platinum program.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it really is a mindset. So that is stepping up into being the leader you're called to be. Because if you're putting a book out, that's one level of leadership. When you step into claiming bestseller, that is claiming a title, that is claiming a level of expert that society and our culture assigns to you when you claim that title. You know, and I will tell you from experiencing it, getting bestseller is a lot easier than you think it is. So if that is your goal, you can totally do it, and do it with ease and a plan. It's not as hard as you think. But if the goal is to have the title, there's something within our mindset, our belief system, our psyche that has to connect with really owning that title. And you've got to close the gap between who you are being, because guess what? You're now a best-selling author, whether you like it or not, and who you think and believe you are, AKA imposter syndrome. Yeah. So, you know, it is really about saying, okay, best-selling author, owning your expert at that level, really embodying this level of influence and impact you have now, is not making it about you anymore, right? It was great to go into it and say, yeah, I want that title, right? That was about me. But it's, what is that title going to allow you to do, be, and have in the world now, as far as your legacy of impact? Because there's a reason you're called to write a book. And so it's so important to make sure that you're doing that inner work to close that gap, because the title happens with ease, but really owning and embodying the responsibility that comes with that title is very different. And so it's important to make sure you're doing all of that inner work to really own that, because not everybody takes that title and really steps into the responsibility with it. Because I see a lot of people, they just go, they get the title, and then boop, they don't do anything with it. But that title opens doors. It creates opportunities. It gets you into higher level things because it's an instant credential. Like I said, it's the best business card I've ever had.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was actually thinking about that this morning too, how some people will just do the book, post it on Amazon. You know, some people do go for the bestseller status, and that's wonderful. And then they like drop off on the book, and you never hear anything else about this fabulous book. And it's like, you've put so much into that. You gotta use it. You have to leverage that to, you know, start reaching out to bigger media outlets, to reaching out to podcasts, to TV shows, all of that kind of stuff. I would love to have you talk a little bit about some of that stuff, whatever you're allowed to share with us, some of the things that you've been doing since releasing your book.
Oh, goodness. What have I not been doing? I mean, seriously. So let's see. Right after the book, a lot of the initial stuff, it got me speaking gigs, and it got me on, and I include speaking gigs like podcast interviews. Like it got me a lot of those media features. It got me, you know, over time, I think like 2020 was a big one for more of like the media features. I was featured in like Business Insider and Yahoo Finance and Disrupt Magazine and a lot of those things. It helped me get, like if I did some of those media pitches for like, hey, interview me or let me contribute to your article kind of thing, you know, best-selling author, it opens the door. It softens, you know, makes the yes a little easier. So if you do HARO, right, like help a reporter out, and you want to get in there and build some expert credibility, best-selling author helps make it easier, right? People are going to pay attention to what you're saying. Definitely got me on a ton of podcast interviews, and it just keeps elevating over time, right? Like the level of podcasts that I'm getting on. So there's people that are in my corner right now who are working to get me on really my highest level, like Dream 25 list of podcasts that I want to get on, you know, and like there's some really big ones that are tough to get on without coming with a huge resume. So, you know, that's going to help. Definitely, like I said, the speaking gigs now, I mean, I'm getting paid for amazing speaking gigs. So like I just got booked for the Nebraska State Nurses Association annual conference. So I'm their keynote. I'll be doing 2 pre-recorded like keynote teaching things for that. And it's a really nice paid gig. I got picked up. I'm going to be a partner for doing a bunch of retreats. And these are like elite executive like creative entrepreneur retreats for like really, really, really high level people. So like I have the opportunity to influence and support not only these high level entrepreneurs, but creative leaders at places like Apple, Google, you know, just the people who really influence the world. Like I get to help support them and create change from the top, which is amazing. It's just amazing. And like all these opportunities come in with ease. And the most recent, well, not most recent one, but getting the opportunity to be on a television show. So in June, I'll be filming season 2 of The Social Movement, which is literally 4 days to save the world. And it's just, we come in and we're on a team of 10 people, and we are assigned one of the top 10 world crises listed by the United Nations. So we're talking like poverty, hunger, suicide, women's empowerment, a pandemic, you know, like things like that seem insurmountable in a sense, like economic inequality, you know, things like that, poverty. And we come in and over 4 days, basically the team builds a viable business to solve that problem. Like, how amazing is that in terms of impact? Like, it is so cool to get to be a part of that and to get brought into the world of television, to be a part of a movement where they're creating television channel that is all about empowerment and positivity, you know, kind of like Oprah's channel OWN, but like on steroids, you know, where it's just all like beautiful, positive stuff. And the show itself and like what that means, it'll be available on all the streaming platforms, and just the network of people there, because there's celebrities, there's high level entrepreneurs. You know, you have this into television. You know, I'm going to be meeting with the creator. I get to pitch him an idea about a television show that maybe I want to create or develop. So potentially executive producer could be another one of my titles in the future. You know, who knows? So there's a lot of opportunities, and it really started by getting my book out.
Yeah. Wow. That is so amazing. I mean, the level of impact that you're able to have since becoming a best-selling author has just, you know, infinitely compounded. Bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger connections, bigger impact. Wow. I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, now people are putting my name in the ear of like really big people, you know, famous people too that we know, you know, high level people like, you know, Ryan Stewman and Ed Milet, you know, in the entrepreneur influencer world, you know, getting connections to people like Tarek El Moussa from HGTV, you know, like things like that. And I don't mean to like name drop, but I think it's okay in this particular instance to put a framework, you know, of some of these connections that are kind of working now, you know. And what's cool too is how easy a lot of this stuff comes as long as you continue doing that inner work along the way. You know, I wanted to do a retreat this year. Well, the place came to me. Like, the people are coming to me, like at this point, because you build that credibility and that credential. So your success reaches a tipping point where things become easier and things happen faster. So it's a lot of that being open to receive too. So
yeah. And I just thought of this. I remember like when I was little, and you know, we have all these big dreams, and then somebody would say, oh, you don't have the right connections, oh, you don't know the right people. You have to take the steps to make those things possible, to reach the right people, to make your dreams happen. And that's absolutely what you've been doing, is building and building and building and making the right connections. And I just love that. And I love that for you. And I'm just so excited for everything that you've been doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I don't see any comments, but we may have some questions later. So we will circle back and answer them if you are watching this on replay. But I'm going to let you go because I know you're super busy, obviously have a lot going on. And you probably need a break every once in a while too. So
I get a lot of breaks. No, Matt, I build in a lot of me time.
Good. Well, since you were able to move to Florida and, you know, finally be in the location that you wanted to be in, that makes a huge difference too. Be able to get outside and get in the sun and soak all that up. It's raining in Pittsburgh today, so I'm thinking about it.
It's always raining in Pittsburgh. I don't miss it.
We actually had a nice week this week, but today it's raining.
That's good. No, that's good. But I mean, and that's even another layer, right? Is building your dream life.
Yeah.
Came from, you know, for me, my dream life was like, our whole plan was like move to Florida, live near the water, near the beach, you know, all of that stuff. And getting my book out was a huge piece of that puzzle in making my dream become my reality. So yeah, it's super, super, super important. So yeah, it expands your network. I mean, basically whatever it is that your vision is, whatever you desire, a book is such a huge, vital piece of allowing that to happen quickly and easily, because it's going to happen either way. But if you want to speed up the process, get the book out and have Corey help you.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Plug you because you helped me and you're an awesome editor.
Thank you. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up And again, if you have questions, drop them below. But otherwise, have an awesome day. And Stacy, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
You are so welcome. Thanks for having me.